we fixed? Did that do it? No. God bless it. Are we fixed?
Yeah.
Did that do it? No.
Yeah.
Did it fix it?
Yeah.
Yay! It did fix it.
Okay.
Oh, I did it all by myself.
Are we
I didn't even have to
Did
have
that
any
do it?
help.
No.
Did it fix it? Yay! I'm proud of myself.
Yay!
Oh,
It did
and you
fix
wouldn't
it.
even believe what I did today.
I did it all by myself.
I didn't
I
even
made
have
a
to have
friend.
any help.
Did it fix it?
I made a
I'm proud
friend.
of myself.
Yay!
Yeah, me.
Oh,
I
and
know
you
it's
wouldn't
crazy.
even believe
I made a
what
friend
I
at
did
Burger King
I
tonight.
did it all by myself.
Didn't I, Beth?
I didn't even
made
have
a
to
friend.
And I showed
fix it?
myself.
I made a
I'm
friend.
proud of myself.
Yeah, me.
Oh,
I
and
know
you
it's
wouldn't
crazy.
even
I
believe
made a
what
friend
I
at Burger King
I
tonight.
did it all by myself.
Didn't I, Beth?
I didn't
I
even
made
have
a
to
friend.
And I showed myself.
I made a
I'm
friend.
proud of myself.
Yeah, me.
Oh,
I
and
know
you
it's
wouldn't
crazy.
even
I
believe
made a
what
friend.
I
Not a big deal.
I did it all by
That
myself.
didn't I, Beth?
I
remembered from
And I showed myself.
I made a friend.
It was kind of like,
Oh,
yeah,
all
it's
P.E.C had
crazy.
special sauce.
I
She
did
put
it
the
all by
seasoning
myself.
or onions
By
inside
myself.
and remembered from
And I showed myself.
it was kind of like,
Oh,
oh, all
it's
P.E.C had
crazy.
special sauce. She put the
Oh,
seasoning or onions
all by
inside
myself.
remembered from
And
now,
I
the
showed myself.
nighttime class, he was walking 80 of his receivers so you couldn't get your recipe. See? Okay, now I can do it. And the nighttime class, he was walking 80 of his receivers so you couldn't get your recipe. See? Okay, now I can do it. And the nighttime class, he was walking 80 of his receivers so you couldn't get your recipe. See? Okay, now I can do it. And the nighttime class, he was walking 80 of his receivers so you couldn't get your recipe. See? Okay, now I can do it. And the nighttime class, he was walking 80 of his receivers so you couldn't get your recipe. Oh, okay. And that's right. Conversations. I'm your host, Guru Brando, and this is
Lady Elizabeth.
We're trying this again. Now we have audio that doesn't sound like we're on an alien spaceship.
Yes.
Is it working, Carol?
Yep.
Woo! Okay. So now for everybody else, now this, okay, we are on. We are on again. I don't know what was going on with that, and just for the record, I have zero idea how I just fixed it. But it looked cool, right? What I was doing, Beth,
Yes,
as
sir.
I was clicking and typing and doing.
Yes, very
Yeah.
technical with all the menus.
Like I felt like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt like I was really accessing stuff. Okay, so this ruins everything though, because the title of this episode 16, Why Is He Mowing Again? Oh wait, it's just sitting there. That was the title because the wonderful old man that lives with us, my father, Fred, Farmer Fred, he likes to mow like twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, I swear. I don't know why. It's the grass judge in him, y'all. So he likes to mow, and he does this curious thing where he just leaves the mower going and walks away from it and runs errands, gets his hair cut, eats lunch, pulls weeds, talks to a neighbor, takes a nap, runs a 5K. You know, my dad, he just does whatever he wants to do for however long and lets the mower run. And I told him, hey, tonight, I'm doing the podcast. The same thing I tell him every single week. And I'm like, so we'll go live about 6 o'clock. So I have to wait him out by 4 minutes. So at 6:04, we go online. And this is when karma strikes. Because as soon as I hit record, guess what? Not only do we not have a mic, which I didn't discover until just a minute ago, but also he quit mowing. So he wasn't even mowing anymore. And so it made no sense what I was even talking about. So, ruined. Everything's ruined. Not really.
But that's what you get for talking smack about your dad.
I know. It's karma. I get it. And you notice I didn't even introduce you this time because you're not even going to bother trying. So Miss Carol's off camera, aka Ed McMahon, and the hand job, and right now looks like the finger job, because apparently I'm number one. That's what she says.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, hippie chick?
Because I'm just sitting here watching everything unfold. And it's funny.
Okay, so as I was saying, I made friends at BK because I went to pick up our date night order of too much food for us. And while I was there early. Didn't realize that I was there by like 8 minutes early because I smoke weed and I was hungry and we had run the errand we needed to run and we were picking it up. So I didn't look at the time, totally unaware. So I get in the drive-thru and I tell him about my order and he says come through and then he's all, we don't have your order. Do you remember what you ordered? We ordered a lot of shit and extra and this and that, and so I was like, damn, what did we order? And so I just looked inside my feeble little head and I pulled out this wondrous thing called a list. And in that list was what I saw as I was putting in our order online. So because I put it in and was this visual person, I remembered.
Yes.
I figured it's just because you were medicated. And
She was
That's it.
impressed.
I figured it's because you were stoned.
medicated.
Oh, yeah, it's 'cause I was
And you
stoned.
had to remember
Yeah.
food.
But yeah, so I was like Shaggy. I could remember everything. It was a spectacular moment.
So how did you make a friend, though?
I'm getting to that. Will you let the story evolve? I mean, you know, people actually tune in to hear me. Not really, but I think it's to see Beth. But I'm part of the package. So whatever. Anywho's.
Let's get back
So
to that and
he's
talk
all, we don't have your order, and I gave him the order, and then he, in his kind little heart, did not interrupt me as I was doing this. And then he looks at me and he's like, yeah, 'cause we don't have it. Can you pull forward and wait? And I was like, actually, I said, do you want me to pull forward and wait? And he's like, yeah, do that. But the kind soul he was could not ask me to just pull forward instead of saying, do you remember what you ordered? Yes. So I made the friend when she comes out and goes, is this your order? Or is your name Adam? That's one bag. One small bag. That is not our order. And although I would love to be named Adam,
I don't think she believed you at
she
first.
did. Yeah, it's like, are you sure you're not Adam? No,
She was really trying to
it's
get
not.
us that.
Yeah, she really wanted us to be that order, but it was
the
order number
experience to
24.
be over.
So if Adam number 24 at BK tonight, I almost took your order if you're listening, but I didn't because I was kind and I didn't lie. I cannot tell lie. So I was all, I'm order 20 and there's so much more food than that little Burger King chicken thing. What's it called?
It's the
Chicken.
Deluxe.
Why can't I remember that? You would think that's something I could remember.
It's
Anywho, so she was like, okay, well, I'll come back out with your order. And I was like, no problem. And she's like, I'm going to find Adam. And I was like, okay, and I'll see if I can find this order so I can tell you because she asked about it. She's like, we don't have your order. And I was like, crap. Do I have to remember it? And she's like, maybe.
So the order before you left was supposed to be ready at 4:55.
And it wasn't because they got it at 4:45. So they got it at 4:45 when I was setting out in the parking lot because she came back out and she said, we finally got it. And I said, well, I just brought it up. I finally found it. And she goes, but I don't need it now. And I said, can you just give me this one thing, please? Can you just give it to me that I won? And she's like, yes, you can have it. And we slapped hands. We
Friends
slapped
for life.
hands. We're friends for life. And I said, by the way, can you give me some of that extra zesty sauce? And you know what? We had 4. 4, folks. 4 of the onion ring zesty sauce instead of just 2. That was a big deal.
Very big deal. She's your BFF.
She is. And so then two people brought out our order because one carried the drinks and one carried the food. And just so you know, they were both very kind. And I'm pretty sure they just wanted to get a look at the weirdo in the car.
Probably.
And I'm okay with that because I will admit that I'm the weirdo beardo in the car. And I have a fantastic scarf on most of the time. So let's talk about shit.
Okay.
I saw that it was my Aunt Sarah and Uncle Frank's anniversary. I don't remember what day because I was scrolling quickly through Facebook. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, well, then you're not Facebook worthy. Are you friends with my family on Facebook? Okay, we need to investigate that, and you need to see about being friends with them. So, because you're on social media, and I'm a loser who's not. And people, my friends, and my clients have been requesting more TikToks.
Okay.
And so we need to do the tick and the talk. Okay, so little Bobby Streets should be listening right now. And you want to talk about little Bobby Streets? Let's talk about him. So little Bobby Streets is kinfolk. You like it when I say stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
She loves that. Whenever I say britches and slickum and kinfolk. Yeah, so that's kinfolk that we reacquainted with of yours, Beth, whenever we went to your father's funeral.
Yes.
And he is now listening to our podcast. So he's a weirdo, and he messages me weird stuff a lot. And but I'm okay with him. He's a cool dude, and I'd like him to come visit, but I hope he gets his head on straight because he can't come visit until he's allowed by law. Wink, wink, y'all. Wink, wink. Little Bobby Streets, put two and two together. He's a bad influence. Now, do y'all believe that people who have been to jail are bad influences?
No.
Tell me why.
People go to jail for different reasons.
Right.
And they're all different shapes, sizes, everything. You can't judge somebody based on their jail time.
Okay, you can't, but sometimes you should, right? Like if they're in there for killing people, should you maybe go, that person might be unsafe?
Mm-hmm.
Would you do that? I mean, honestly, because some people would, some people wouldn't. Not trying to be a smart ass yet.
You can be cautious without completely condemning them as
Right.
dangerous, unsafe individuals.
So I have a story. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Woohoo! Hello.
I'm going to use this as a blanket because I'm cold.
That's my scarf.
What's your
Wow.
story?
What?
Okay. let me get a drink real quick. Product placement. So, I don't know that they want to be associated with me. That might be bad. Okay. Are y'all ready for an actual story, though?
Yeah, sure, go. Let's hear it.
Super excited.
I don't really have a story.
You can't be getting our hopes up and then saying you don't have a story.
What were we talking about?
I don't
Stuff.
know.
We were talking about little Bobby Streets, and we were talking about jail. And yes, I have a story. Okay. So when I was 12 years old, I was sitting at home, our house in Greenville, my mother, my father, and myself. Mom and Dad weren't home. It was just me. I was home from school. Probably ditching, I'm sure. So the phone rings, and I answer it, and on the other line is an operator who says, collect call from Walla Walla, Washington prison. Will you accept the charges? I had no idea what I was supposed to do because I had never gotten a phone call from prison. Intrigued, I was 12. I said, sure, I'll accept it. So I accepted the call only to be told that that person was my uncle.
Right.
I
Your
had
uncle
no
died?
idea. Yeah, I had no idea I had an uncle, and I had no idea he was in prison. So that was super strange. From what I understand, he wasn't a great guy. And that sucks. But I'm not going to sit here on the podcast and judge him. I'm just going to say I knew some shit about him. And I started writing him because I didn't know stuff about him. So we wrote back and forth. Well, things started to get sketch. And then he came and he lived with my ex and I for a little while. And things were super sketch. And then he ended up going back to prison. Well, he ended up dying in prison of colon cancer. And I found that out when we lived in Germany. And we were trying to locate him because we were closing Granny's estate when she passed away. So my Uncle Bud had been in prison his entire life, with the exception of a few releases. From what I understand, he had gone in as a juvenile and he just stayed in the system. He couldn't get right. He was adopted by my grandmother and grandfather along with my mom and another brother. So I don't want to talk about like how he came to be, but he was taken away, and my then grandparents adopted him. So Granny had blamed herself for how he had turned out. Now, I am a firm believer that everybody can change. I am a firm believer that not everyone wants to change. And so I don't think that he wanted to change because he had no reason to. And that's okay if that's the life he chose. But he wasn't a very good person. Little Bobby Streets is decent, even though he's not watching because he said it's lagging. So
There's about like a half a second between when you say something and when it happens on the screen.
So
And
I'm
that's just
telling
our
him to
screen.
watch it anyway. Well, that's because there's weird interference in the air tonight. You know, now I'm singing Phil Collins, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, because that's the kind of person I am.
I know.